Your Minnesota Twins have taken the first two games of the series at Yankee Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Twins come back. The New York Yankees after absolutely blowing them out the night before. Oh yeah, baby. Look at that.
We're gonna win, Twins. We're gonna score. We're gonna win, Twins. Watch that baseball soar. Crack out a home run, shout a hip hooray. Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
All right, that's enough of that. All right. Thanks for joining here, everybody. Let me get this off of here. Back in the swing of things. It's been a while. Get that off. Ooh, can I get it off? That's the question. There we go. Get the chat up. Thank you so much for joining me on this very special evening. I figured it was a great time to do a live stream. What in the world is happening here? Is this real? I mainly just wanted to get on. I love that. What just happened? What just happened? Yes, that is it. What just happened? I just wanted to get on because I wanted confirmation that I saw that. I've seen that the last 2 days are real. What a big difference. It's happening. What a big difference. You just think back coming into this series. I know there was I was confident yesterday for whatever reason, but just think back to coming into the series. Correa hadn't played in a few days. It looked like Buxton was exploded on that collision on the base paths. They were heading into New York for a 4-game series, obviously off to a great start before that, regardless. But it was looking like it was going to be tough. The blowout win yesterday, that was unreal. That was hard to believe as well. And then tonight, no disrespect to Louis Varland, who I obviously love, and he pitched great outside of that little Cracker Jack stadium. A few balls happened to just barely carry out of there on him. Other than that, he pitched wonderful. This is the Twins' 7th starter. The 7th starter going into Yankee Stadium, pitching a quality start. 6 innings, 3 runs. That's a quality start. Pretty ridiculous. I mean, Kyle Garlick, is he the 7th outfielder? I mean, he might even be farther back on the depth chart than that. We all know his ability to hit lefties and makes him a pretty dangerous guy, a valuable guy to have around, but he homers. Emilio Pagan. I mean, if there's any sign that we're existing in some kind of a bizarro world right now, it is that Emilio Pagan is delivering right now. Wow. That sums it all up. Thank you to Gabriel for the super chat. Yeah, the Little League ballpark. We got one. Correa got one, but that stadium, man, it's hard for me to watch baseball with that stadium. Obviously, just being a Twins fan is part of that, and all of the pain that's been doled out to the Twins in that park. But wow. This is just on top of everything else. The Twins are 10-4 right now as well. So we have this just incredible, immediate just thing to bask in here with the Twins having success at Yankee Stadium. They are at least going to split this series. I mean, if they would have taken one out of these 3 games, I would have been like, you know what? That was probably all I was going to expect anyway. At least they didn't get swept. So for them to take the first 2 games of the series, especially with that caveat of that Louis Varland pitched this game tonight. And of course, we saw him pitch well at Yankee Stadium last year. Just a huge lift. This team, obviously it's only been 14 games. Clearly, these are just 2 games that the Twins have played at Yankee Stadium. But this team feels different. It's a very long season. There's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be ups and downs. But right now, I mean, wow. And especially when considering that this month it looked kind of on paper like the toughest month they were going to have, and there's a lot of month left. Boy, what a feeling it is right now to look at this team and see a 10-4 record. And it's because of the M. Hey man, if they're doing this stuff with the M, it's gonna grow on me real quick. I can tell you that much. You're gonna see me in like a week with one of those M hats on. I always love the M. It's just an upside down W for win, is it not? That's the trick right there. So yeah, wow, flying high up on cloud nine, and just the way they did it tonight. I wouldn't say that it was more impressive than yesterday, because you come out and you just kick a team's face in like they did yesterday and score 11 runs and have the dominant pitching as well. Yesterday was more impressive, but today was more of a game that felt like this is different. This we don't see this. This team feels different than a lot of Twins teams we've seen before, and of course, once again, we've seen a lot of rough stuff happen at Yankee Stadium. I'm going to pull up some more stuff here, so bear with me. So we'll pull up the box. We'll pull up and go through a little bit of the box just to sort of remember this one already, keeping this one in the memory bank for a long time. But Carlos Correa, what a huge game from Carlos Correa. And then again, there's our boy Emilio Pagan picks up the W at Yankee Stadium, holding it down to give the Twins lineup one more chance. And Duran closes it out, of course. Mentioned Carlos Correa, him and Buxton at the top of the lineup. Correa goes 2 for 4. He gets that short porch cheapy home run. I'll still call it that if it's a Twin. I'm not above that. It's a cheap stadium. It's a cheap stadium. We got one though. The wall's the same difference for both teams. So Correa gets the home run, and then he gets the huge 2-run hit with runners in scoring position, which of course that was such a thorn in his side last year. And really early on this year, it's kind of too early to really say, that somebody's been struggling when it's only been 13 games to come in today, but he hadn't really done much to put that behind him yet. And hopefully, this is a big step towards seeing some more production out of him with runners in scoring position. You don't see any reason why we wouldn't see that. Jose Miranda had a multi-hit game, which is great because he's been a little cool early on this one. And Kyle Garlick coming in, getting called up today, and hitting that home run to, I think it was 3-1 at the time, to bring the Twins back to 3-2. This guy has such a swing, man. I love Garlick's swing. He is so quick to the ball, and it's a big moment for him, not to get lost in everything else that happened. And obviously kind of the Louis Varland call up sort of overshadowing that storyline. They kind of share that storyline. So again, I mean, so many unfamiliar names in this lineup, and guys that we were expecting to be here, not here. Again, it was looking like maybe even Buxton and Correa weren't going to be around potentially for a game or two or early on here in the series. And they're back. Twins go 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. That gets the job done. They only leave 4 men on base. Great job. And again, Louis Varland, man, hit 98 miles per hour in this one. Struck out 8 batters. Yes, he did give up the 3 home runs, but only 1 walk. So you give up 3 home runs, as long as they're solo home runs, you can probably make it. And to go 6 innings for Louis Varland. 6 innings, 83 pitches. He's very efficient. 8 strikeouts. Again, man, this guy is taking it another step. What a find that he is. I think he was a 15th round pick, and pitching in the big leagues. And I mean, most of the credit goes to Varland. I mean, the Twins obviously liked what they saw. He has really taken it another level, though. He's done, more than the Twins could have imagined, I'm sure, in working so hard and figuring out how to get. He's maxing out his talent, I think, more than I've maybe ever seen anybody. It's amazing, and he keeps getting better. Like, he had more velo tonight than he had last year, which was just miles above when the Twins drafted him. And obviously him being a Minnesota boy just puts that cherry on top of everything. You would think if there's anybody to sort of crumble at Yankee Stadium, it would be a guy from Minnesota who knows all that history and carries all that baggage. But no, Louis Varland twice now has looked good in that stadium. And then, of course, like we said, Pagan came in. It was a low leverage inning still, even though the Twins are only down 1. That was still technically by the leverage index, if you want to get real nerdy and break down the spreadsheets. That was still a low leverage situation. I know a lot of people got nervous about that. I did too. I think I said it on a preseason stream. I think Pagan could throw like 100 straight shutout innings, and I still wouldn't feel real great about him out there. But wonderful to see him get a clean inning in a big spot, keep the Twins in this game. And man, I put it on Twitter, man. Jorge Lopez is looking back. We did not get to see this guy on the Twins. This is that Orioles version of Lopez. In the short term here, I didn't think we'd see that guy again. Honestly, I thought that was just a short burst of a guy in a different role, the league not catching up to him yet. And he was I figured he'd be much better than what we saw with the Twins, but sort of a happy medium. And maybe that's what we'll get eventually. But to me, this dude's looking every bit of that disgusting all-star closer that he was with the Orioles last year. I think he hit 100 tonight. Just gross. Absolutely gross. Duran picks up the save, benefits from a double play ball. Wasn't like his usual just complete automatic self, but obviously, I mean, a clean inning where he only gives up 1 hit. Not a whole lot of high pressure going on in that. It was a leadoff hit, but again, erased by that double play ball. And, it's the comeback. It's the comeback that really makes this feel pretty special. Twins down 3-1 at one point, come back with a run in the 7th, 2 runs in the 8th, and to hold the Yankees, obviously. But this is also, to me, it's a little bit like, man, they took everything the Yankees had, man. They took everything that team had. Nestor Cortez pitched, and he's been on a roll, and he pitched extremely well. The Yankees hit 3 home runs. The Yankees hit 3 home runs. So it's not as if this was kind of some fluky thing. I thought the Yankees played well tonight for the most part. So I think that's sort of another thing that makes it feel pretty special on top of, taking 2 in a row at New York. It wasn't some like weird Guardians bullshit that they won on. That felt like a toe-to-toe, blow-for-blow, big slobber knocker that the Twins came up on top of. That feels good. Whew. Ooh-wee. All right. And tonight's live stream, again, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll talk some more about this game. Love the conversation that's going on. That's a big part of these live streams, is everybody getting in and hanging out, and us just kind of hanging out together and feeling good, talking about the Twins. This live stream will take the place of tonight's system recap. So I kind of got to pick and choose between some of these. It's hard for me to fit everything in together. So we are going to take kind of a look around the minors here. And I won't have any video, unfortunately, right now. Maybe I'll find a way to get some out to you guys tomorrow. We'll see. I'd love to. I'd love to be able to. I'll say that much. All right. Let's see. Yeah, man, just the way that game opened with the back-to-back home runs, it kind of felt like, well, all right, we had our fun last night. We had our fun last night. This is the way it's going to go. Buckle in. It's going to be one of those. And then again, man, credit to Louis Varland and Ryan Jeffers, too. Credit to Ryan Jeffers, too. I do think Varland was a little bit, I don't know about amped up, or he just doesn't strike me as a guy that really gets that way. But and this was short notice, too. He was supposed to start for the Saints yesterday. So, maybe it was difficult to kind of mentally prepare for that. I'm just super impressed with Louis Varland. Made a bad pitch or two on that back-to-back home runs. But credit to him, credit to Ryan Jeffers for keeping the team in the game, as well as the bullpen there. And then, giving that lineup an opportunity to come back. Again, just feeling it. David Correa earned his Dior tonight. That's right, baby. Extra Dior. Everybody's getting sprayed up with Dior cologne tonight. All right. Let me bring in, we're real quick going to run around some minor league stuff. Certainly we'll continue to discuss some of the Twins game, but just a quick snapshot at some of these. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's the Twins one. Hold on 1 sec. You boys got to knock some rust off. It's been a while since we've been able to live stream. Not as in the motions as I am. There we go. All right. So the St. Paul Saints, of course, kind of the big thing to track here is that Joey Gallo played. He played first base. He got 3 at-bats. He hit a double in this one. So that's kind of the big takeaway. The Saints did win. All the scoring happening late in this one. Kind of a strange way that one went down. Aaron Sanchez on the mound had a nice start for St. Paul. Cody Lawyerson, who's been having a kind of a rough go of it so far this year, my boy, he had a better outing, picked up a W. And then Brock Stewart gave up a couple runs, but he also got 2 strikeouts. This guy's he's 31 years old, former major leaguer. He has talking about guys that have really increased their velo. He's somebody to keep an eye on, but he did give up a couple runs tonight. The Saints, I got to tell you, we mentioned the rehab assignment guys, but I got to tell you, just to be honest, it's kind of rough. We're looking through this roster right now, without Julian, without Wallner, without Varland. Quite a bit of the prospect sheen has been taken off the Saints here. But so that's that. They won tonight. Again, great to see Joey Gallo. We're real quick just going to run through this stuff. AA Wichita still in progress. They're up 7-3. I know Yorner Fajardo hit a homer. Jake Rucker homered as well. Nice. Junior Severino homered. Lots of homers. Jeez. Alex Isola went deep. These are lots of names that were returnees from Wichita from last year. Travis Adams, nice to see here. He got roughed up in his AA debut. This is one of the guys that I'm kind of higher on than a lot of people. Had him inside my top 30. Good to see him come back with a nice start. 5 innings, 2 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. That ERA still at 12.71. He's got a little time. He's got a little work to do. So that game is still in progress. Again, we're going to run through these and then talk some more about the Twins game. Cedar Rapids still in progress. They are trailing 4-6. Not a ton going on. Ben Ross has a multi-hit game. Noah Cardenas has a multi-hit game. Willie Joe Gary Jr. has a multi-hit game. Jose Salas has been struggling. Jose Salas, I saw he stole a base down there, but this is that primo prospect they acquired in the Arise trade. And you see there he's hitting 105 with a 255 OPS. Ooh, ouch. Played shortstop tonight. He's been playing third base, second base. Got a shot at getting shortstop with Noah Miller out of the lineup. This is my favorite minor league team right now, by the way. Manuel Rodriguez has a hit, RBI. But yeah, Salas, I don't know, maybe the change in scenery, the change in organization, maybe he's kind of trying to put some pressure on himself, probably, might kind of change your comfortability level that now, you get traded for in a big deal for a major leaguer, so he might be pressing a bit. But nice situation. They can kind of keep him lower in the lineup while that's going on, take some pressure off of him. He's a guy I really like. I was really impressed with looking through the video after that trade and just how polished that he looks. So I'm pretty confident he's going to turn things around. But I know people are kind of curious on the top prospects, and he's a guy off to a slow start. Not seeing too much of note on the pitching side there for Cedar Rapids, but again, that one's still in progress. And then Fort Myers, did any of those rehab guys play tonight? I was so locked into this Twins game. They did. I was so locked into this Twins game, I didn't really take a look at too much, to be honest, yet on the minor league side. So Alex Kirilloff played right field. Alex Kirilloff, wait, this was last night. This was yesterday. Right? Yeah, Kirilloff had his homer yesterday. And Cespedes. I remember talking about this in the recap yesterday. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Maybe there was a delay? Oh, yeah. What are we doing here? How do we get there? There we go. My bad. That was yesterday's. At least I caught it. There we go. Yeah. Jorel Ortega. He had a home run in the first inning. This is a guy the Twins drafted out of Tennessee last year. So it looks like the rehabbing guys had the day off. They're kind of going every other right now. Kirilloff and Polanco. I'd imagine maybe one of them's getting called up soon. And then is Corey Lewis? His name is escaping me. Sometimes these guys' names, the new guy. Yeah, it is Corey Lewis. Okay. Whew. My reputation's on the line here, going live, I feel like. I got to know this stuff. 9th round pick from last year. He pitched well. 5 innings, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. So that is the situation on the minor leagues tonight. Again, I'll try to get some video if I can, share that at the least. If you're not a Twitter person, I won't recommend that you get on there. If you are on Twitter, though, you probably already know this, but I share quite a few highlights on Twitter as well. So take a look there. That's a good question. We could talk about that. We've talked about the win. We've basked in the sunlight of the victory. We've taken around the minor leagues. We can look ahead a little bit, and we can ask, what happens to Edward. And maybe we should talk about this too. There's some discussion on the pronunciation of his name, and if you guys know, my default is kind of Edouard Julien is how I think I heard it mainly in the lower minors, but Tim Grubbs, the awesome AA announcer for Wichita, calls him Eddie Julien. And apparently he's all right going with Eddie, mainly because we all just murder the pronunciation of his French Canadian name. I tried to look it up. I believe it's supposed to be like Edouard Julien or something like that. So I guess apologies for saying his name wrong all this time, but apparently he's not too broken up about it. He doesn't seem too sticky about it either way. So, but does he go back to St. Paul as soon as Polanco is done rehabbing? I would say yes. And I would say that probably only depends a little bit on how well he does. There's also sort of the Byron Buxton factor in here. If Buxton can play in the outfield soon, and that opens up some DH at bats, that would be huge because these guys rehabbing might need to DH some. It's not like Kirilloff and Polanco, I don't think, are just going to be up on the Twins and then playing every day. So that's something to keep in mind. But that's Polanco's job, as it should be. I realize Polanco's coming off a down season, but that's his job. That's his spot. I really like him there. I think we've seen a little bit too that Julien is playable at second base. I think he's playable. I don't think he's so bad at second that you just can't get by with him there. But I do think this is more of a statement of how good the average major league second baseman is than how sort of not up to par Julian is. He's pretty far behind your average MLB second baseman. I think he's probably, if you have him there, he's probably one of the worst second basemen in Major League Baseball. But again, so many of those guys are former shortstops who could maybe play short there. They're not that far off from being able to play shortstop at the major league level. So the bar is incredibly high. But that doesn't change the fact that you are giving away some outs in the field, I feel like, with Julian out there. Of course, hopefully the bat makes up for it. And when you're in a situation like this where you are kind of going to your second, third, fourth options, I mean, absolutely put him out there. You don't have a better option at the moment. So put him out there and see what he can do. Long term, I have no idea. I mean, I would guess that he's going to end up at first base, but I'm not sure. I do think he's gotten better. I think, I thought it was curious that the Twins made him a strictly only second baseman last year, because 2 years ago he played first, he played third, he played outfield. They kind of were putting him everywhere and giving him looks. I think he was in Fort Myers a lot of that year, so I didn't get to see him in the field a lot. There's not a lot of broadcasts to see. He might have played it at Cedar Rapids around quite a bit, but I don't recall seeing a lot of defense from him. But whatever it was, the Twins decided, let's just put him at second base, leave him there, and see what happens. And I do think he's improving. I especially feel like he's getting more on his throws. I don't know that like his throwing arm is any better, but he's finding ways to use his body more, get behind his throws more. Definitely getting some more zip on his throws. Obviously, a guy who has tremendous hand-eye coordination. With the way he hits, his strike zone judgment. So I like the way he turns too, because those quick hands. But again, yeah, you're always going to be kind of like, oh man, I wish we could get so and so's glove in there. And we've already seen that he's been a defensive. He got replaced defensively yesterday. I think he played the whole game today though. And the other thing, they're going to want him playing. They're going to want him playing again. They're going to want him improving at second base and giving him a chance to potentially stay there. Excuse me. I don't think I'm still 100% from being sick of Wise back, but getting closer. So sorry for the throat clears. But yeah, they're going to want to keep Julian playing. So if there's not everyday opportunities, they're going to prioritize him playing over you can have Willie Castro just sitting there hanging out on the bench. You don't care. It don't matter. You're not worried about Willie Castro collecting dust. You don't really want Edouard Julien collecting dust. So yeah, I think he's definitely, no matter how well, it's sort of in a similar situation. It's sort of like the Correa Lewis. Royce Lewis got called up. Correa was on the IL. Lewis looked amazing, but there was nothing that he could do to not get sent back down when the time came. Now, the question is, are we going to see the same thing we saw last year where when Lewis went back down, they played him a little bit in the outfield, they played him a little at third, they were trying to figure out ways they could work this guy in around some other situations that were going on. Are they going to do that with Julian when he goes back down, or are they going to continue to say, no, we really feel like second base is your spot. We want you to keep getting better. So we'll see. Personally, if it was me, I would start playing him at first base a little bit, not exclusively, but I would want him to start getting comfortable over there. I think that's not only good for him. I think that also makes sense for the Twins, because that really is kind of a shaky spot. It's kind of a shaky spot. Kirilloff is supposed to be the guy there, but I still think Kirilloff is a usable corner outfielder. So I don't think he's a guy you can't play in the outfield. Donovan Solano, I'm not sure how comfortable I am with him playing anywhere but first, to be honest. I haven't seen enough. He's getting up there a little bit. He's getting up there a little bit. He doesn't move around as good as he used to when he was more of a middle infielder. So Solano, factors in there. I like Solano. I mean, you got to like what that guy's brought so far. And especially stepping up into such a role that was not expected. He's been one of the unsung heroes for sure in the early going. So not trying to throw shade at Donovan Solano. But first base isn't the deepest spot, for the Twins. And like depth wise, there's like Tyler White, who has some major league experience, but nobody's going to be kind of clamoring for him. I also kind of feel like Matt Wallner should get some first base work in for the same reason. And let's face it, like as much as, we all are believers in Kirilloff, and I could see him having like a kind of Trevor Larnach-esque sort of blossoming. Obviously, it's early here, but Larnach's look great. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we see that click happen with Kirilloff. But at the same time, like that risk is getting kind of scary. So I would, if I was the Twins, I would definitely try to kind of get some contingency plans going for like if Alex, is just kind of on and off the IL a bunch this year. And I think Julian would be a great insurance policy in that regard. And, again, I haven't seen him play first or anything, so I'm not saying, but the guy has a tremendous strike zone judgment, a great eye, good hand-eye coordination. That sounds like a guy that's going to be a pretty good fit at first base. There's a lot of other stuff you got to do, of course. Well, I mean, pretty much anybody can play first if we really break it down. But yeah, I mean, Gallo, and again, I should talk about Gallo too in that first base because that's who we've seen there the most. I like him in the outfield, man. Good Joey Gallo's a Gold Glove outfielder. I like him in the outfield a lot. That's not he's been good at first base too, and he's a big old target over there. So I'd imagine infielders like throwing that ball over to him, but I'd kind of prefer him to be in the outfield if we're being honest. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know with Julian at second, he's gonna have to be getting better. Like all three? Do we think we see Lewis, Julian, and Lee all at the same time? Probably not. I mean, we probably don't want to root for that to happen, is how I would put it. There would be some bad stuff that went down if all three of them. But it could happen, absolutely, because when Royce Lewis comes back, they're going to have him like want to do like a spring training, but then it's not like, and I know his AAA track record is incredibly small, and obviously his major league track record is incredibly small, and they're going to want him playing every day. But if there is an opportunity that opens up on the Twins, I think they're going to have a very hard time keeping Royce Lewis in the minors, because he is such a special guy. And I think he unlike Julian, he has the opposite going on, and I don't expect him to lose too much. He didn't lose a step last ACL. Now 2 is maybe a different story. Maybe he does lose a half step, but I would still expect Royce Lewis to be a pretty tremendous defensive player wherever the hell you want to put him. So that's a huge asset to him. That's kind of an X factor versus Julian and Lee. We'll talk about Lee's defense in a sec, but so yeah, Lewis is almost kind of in his own situation because he creates so much more opportunities for himself in that manner, that he's such a asset in the field. We already talked a bunch about Edouard Julien. Brooks Lee, he's been looking better this year than last year in the field, and that's really encouraging. But I think the funky thing with him is he's just so weird. The way he moves around, I wish I remember who it was, but somebody compared him to Hunter Pence in that he's a great athlete, but he just kind of looks awkward in a lot of stuff that he does. And kind of his body type is a little awkward. He's really shouldery, kind of. Yeah, I've really liked the way Brooks Lee has looked at shortstop. I've been kind of I still think the majority of Brooks Lee's career is probably going to be as a third baseman, but I don't see a reason right now to say that he can't hit the league as a shortstop. Like, I think he can break into the majors as a shortstop. Obviously, with Carlos Correa around, we don't have to worry about that. But when it comes to trade value, I don't want to say we're going to trade. I don't want to say we're going to trade him. But, these other teams out there that are going to be looking for prospects, and the Twins potentially looking for upgrades, the better that Brooks Lee can look at shortstop, I mean, ain't going to hurt us at all. even if he's not going to have a path to play there for the Twins. So I've liked the way Lee's looked, and he's a playmaker, man. He's a playmaker. He doesn't have the best range. He doesn't have that quickness that Royce has, but he has great instincts. If he can get to a ball, he gets to a ball. And he has an arm. His arm really makes up for a lot as well. I like Lee in the field quite a bit, and I think that's a differentiated too. I don't know that Lee is going to stick at short for sure, but if he goes to third, like he's going to be like a Gold Glove third baseman. He's going to be awesome at third base. But if we're trying to envision some scenario how they all fit in, so we would have we'll keep Correa there, and I mean, I guess Polanco at second, Edouard Julien at first, Brooks Lee at third, Jose Miranda DHing, Royce Lewis in left, Buxton in center, Trevor Larnach and Joey Gallo in right. It's hard to make it work. It's hard to make it work. Again, I think there would have to be multiple injuries. We don't really want to root for that to happen, but it's fun. That's another fun thing about this hot start is we can start to play that game and be like, man, this might not even be the best the Twins roster is going to look. That's easy to say with the injuries now, but there might be some nice prospect capital working its way up the chain as well, which is super exciting. All right. Any more? Somebody asked any more Marlin pitchers to trade for? Yeah, that's working out pretty good so far. Happy for Luis Arraez that he's playing so well. Obviously, Twins had to give up a really great player to get what's looking like a really great player. Nice. The Moneyball quote. Very nice. Yeah, a mention of Donovan Solano making a great pick. Yes, that was a nice pick. Not your traditional guy to play first. You wouldn't look at Donovan Solano and be like, yeah, that's going to be my first baseman. But he's played well there and he's hit well. Again, really been a kind of a savior, unsung hero for this team. And just got to shout out the bullpen. The starting rotation has had so much, positivity and so much attention and for good reason, obviously for good reason. But the bullpen's been super legit too. And I always try to stick up for those guys, especially when things are going good, because everybody just takes dump all over anybody. You have 9 good outings in the bullpen. You blow one game and it's like, people are wanting to run you out of town. Yes. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. I was saying earlier, like last night last night was the more impressive victory because they just kicked the crap out of the Yankees. But tonight is that win that makes you just feel like this team is it, man. This team can do it. They went out and got a come from behind victory at Yankee Stadium on a night where their 7th starter was pitching. A bunch of backups in action, and they just hung in there. They were losing all game, pretty much all game. They were behind, stuck in there, did not give up. Awesome. And man, they're going to be a dangerous team these next 2 days. Very dangerous team these next 2 days because they're going to feel like we already accomplished what we wanted to. We got a split at the very least at Yankee Stadium. We're leaving this place feeling pretty good, no matter what happens these next 2 games. I think this is going to be a loose ball club, playing with not a whole lot of pressure, having a good time these next 2 days. And that's going to be tough. Yankees are a tough squad. So again, as we know, at Yankee Stadium, not a place the Twins have had much success, but I love the way that this team can kind of prepare for these next 2 days and just be like, we're here, man. We got it. Pressure's on them now. The pressure's on the Yankees to salvage this series, and that fan base is going to get pretty restless if things start to go poorly tomorrow. That fan base is going to get real restless, and I don't care who you are. Nobody likes playing under those circumstances. But tomorrow afternoon, the Twins are playing at, I think, 1 Central. It's Domingo Herman for the Yankees and Tyler Mahle for the Twins. Tyler Mahle he was kind of supposed to start tonight, got pushed back to today. So that's good. I think Eno Sarah shared an article where he had the top 10 increases in stuff plus for fastballs, and Tyler Mahle was on that list. So Tyler Mahle's pitching very well. Again, as we all know, been much covered that the Twins rotation's been on a roll. And then Sunday in the series finale, hoo boy, a heavyweight bout. Garrett Cole versus Pablo Lopez on Sunday at 12:35. That was Eastern time. So that tomorrow's game's at 12:05 Central. And again, that was Mahle versus Herman. And then Sunday will be Lopez versus Cole. My God. I mean, I'm already ready just to give Pablo Lopez a lifetime contract. If he can beat Garrett Cole in Yankee Stadium, woo! Ooh. Anybody else having fun yet? All right, man. Is Kepler coming back? Well, I was really locked into tonight's game. For the last 40 minutes, I haven't been on Twitter, so you guys are probably on top of news better than I am. But Kepler was supposed to only be on the ILL for the minimum, so that's got to be super quick. That's got to be coming up. So yeah, he's got to be coming. And I know a lot of people kind of roll their eyes at that and say, "Oh, is that really an upgrade?" I don't want to see Max leading off. So I mean, I get it. He's off to a slow start. I don't know why they would want to lead him off. Hopefully, this sort of IL trip puts the end to that. I love Buxton Correa at the top of the lineup, man. Obviously, that was against the lefty tonight, but anyway, having Max is better than not having Max. Obviously, he's a guy that's been incredibly frustrating to watch at the plate the last couple of years. Big time asset in the field. That doesn't come into a play as much at Yankee Stadium because it's a tiny little baby ballpark, but it's still going to help. And obviously, also an asset on the bases, a guy who doesn't strike out a lot, a guy who walks a lot. I'm down on Kepler, just like everybody else, but this is a better team with Max Kepler than it is without Max Kepler, especially now that they're going through so many injuries. So that would be a nice addition for the Twins to get him back. But obviously, no one's going to get real hype for Max Kepler coming off the IL at the very moment. Oh yeah, automatic. I would so give that. I think Logan Webb signed a 5-year, $90 million extension with the Giants today. Oh, slam dunk. Back up that truck immediately for Pablo Lopez. I don't know if he's really interested at this point. I would guess not. Just got here basically, but what a great start, man. What a great start. Oh, get out of here. Get out of here with that. No negativity. How do I delete this comment? I'm just kidding. All right. If you look at their track records, Pablo Lopez is just a little bit better track record than Martin Perez had before he joined the Twins. But I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, we got 45 minutes or something. I don't know where. Yeah, there we are. That was a good stream. I appreciate you guys hanging out. I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun. I'm feeling just on cloud 9 once again. Just loving this 10-4 back-to-back wins at Yankee Stadium. The pitching has been amazing. I mean, if you want one element of the team to make you feel good about success carrying forward, absolutely, it's the rotation. You got a good rotation, and it's 5 deep. Hell, it's 7 deep. you're going to be a tough team. And the Twins are going to have a tough time against really great teams, but this team should be able to put up a fight against those teams and should have their way with a lot of the lower end teams. So this is going to be, yeah, Chris, I'm positively levitating. Yeah, the vibes are amazing. I think it was really important to get off to a good start this year too for this team, with the way last year ended. Can you imagine? If they were a couple games below 500 now, coming off of a disappointing year, a couple games to get off to a slow start, pretty rough go of it in April, some injuries. The tone could be so much different, and I think that can carry them a ways. The guys are clearly like gelling. I think too, you can see that from the outside looking in. It's hard to say, not being in the clubhouse, not being around the guys, but I think you can say that looking from the outside in. These guys seem to enjoy each other. They seem to be coming together as a club. A win like today, I mean, that's gonna the last two games. I mean, we're having fun. Those guys are having fun. The guys on the Twins. These guys, even though they're pro athletes, it's their job. These guys want to win. Winning's fun, and they're feeling it right now, I'm sure. So this is, yeah, that's right. We're calling it right here, baby. We're calling it. On April 14th, we are hyped up and juiced up enough. We are tipsy enough to call World Series, baby. Minnesota Twins. Get the parade route going. Try to figure out where we're going to display that trophy at Target Field. It's going down. It's going down. So, again, first time in a long time. Had a great time. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk again soon. System recaps back on tomorrow.